In this episode of Star Hopping, we'll look at the Cygnus region and show you how to find these beautiful deep sky objects. The Gamma Cygni Nebula, the Crescent Nebula, and a globular cluster in Lyra, Messier 56. All right, let's go star hopping. Hey, hello, hi, and welcome to episode 58 of Star Hopping. I'm Dave Hearn, and I'm pleased as punch to be your host. In this series of programs, we'll show you the most beautiful sights in the night sky and explain exactly how to find them with your binoculars or your telescope. Well, I was outside last night at the observatory after a good imaging session, and I was treated with an excellent view of the Milky Way rising out of the south and arcing the whole way into the northeastern sky. It finally disappeared just past Cygnus the Swan. I could even see the Great Rift of Cygnus. It was a good night. There are just a ton of great objects in the constellation of Cygnus, since the Milky Way does indeed pass right through it. On top of all that, I see that I've somewhat neglected Cygnus in the Star Hopping series. We did check out the North American Nebula and the Veil Nebula in episode 34 of Star Hopping, but that's it. So I wanted to correct this astronomical oversight in tonight's episode. Cygnus is loaded with nebula, and two of tonight's targets are this colorful type of deep sky object. And the last one is a nice globular in the neighboring constellation of Lyra. So we can get started and check out the largest nebula in the constellation right after this short break. Stay tuned. Star Hopping would like to thank our wonderful supporters on Patreon. Your contributions will allow us to create and provide more quality astronomy content. We appreciate your generosity and support.
Star Hopping target number 1.
The Gamma Cygni Nebula is very easily found, surrounding the second magnitude star Sadr, the center point of the Northern Cross, and Cygnus. Sadr is also known as Gamma Cygni. Around it lies a huge nebula, IC 1318, also known, appropriately enough, as the Gamma Cygni Nebula. This massive area of nebulosity measures over 3 degrees across. That's large enough to fit 6 full moons. So this is definitely a binocular object and a great target for wide-field astrophotographers. Since the nebula lies around a second magnitude star, there's really no real star hop. However, if you really want to, find brilliant first magnitude Deneb about 30 degrees up in the east, about 10:30 p.m. local time in June. Move about 8 degrees to the right and you'll see second magnitude Sadr. Use your binoculars and scan around Sadr to view the brightest sections of the Gamma Cygni Nebula. While the bright star Sadr in the center of the nebula is about 1,800 light years away, the background nebulosity is more than 3,000 light years away, so Sadr is a foreground object. Also found in this area is the open cluster NGC 6910 at a distance of about 3,700 light years. So we're moving on to one of my recent astrophoto targets very much nearby in central Cygnus. We'll locate it right after this break. Would you like to see the scripts, images, and star charts that I present in each episode of Star Hopping in written form? Well, you can. They're available in our Field Notes digital guides that we produce for each and every episode of Star Hopping. Field Notes guides are available right back to episode 1 of Star Hopping, and you can put them on your phone or tablet to take with you out to your favorite observing site. Our field notes are available in our digital store individually in seasonal bundles or by subscription, where you can receive these useful digital guides in your inbox sent to you the same day as when we publish each new episode of Star Hopping. Check out our selection of field notes in our digital bookstore by visiting starhopping.org/digital store.
Star Hopping target number 2.
Crescent Nebula, NGC 6888, is an emission nebula found in central Cygnus, about 2.5 degrees to the right of Sadr. It's definitely a rather faint object. For visual observation through your scope, you'll need an ultra-high contrast UHC or an oxygen-3 light pollution filter to really see it. Under favorable circumstances, a telescope as small as 4 inches can really see this nebulosity. Larger telescopes, say 8 inches or more, reveal the crescent, or a Euro-shaped sign, which gives it the secondary name of the Euro sign nebula. As I mentioned earlier, the crescent lies about 2.5 degrees to the right and a little upwards from bright Saturn. But you're viewing right smack in the middle of the Milky Way, so there's many faint stars between Saturn and the crescent. It's very easy to get lost in this busy area of the sky. One way of getting there from Saturn is to move 2.5 degrees to the right to 4th magnitude P Cygni. Then from P, you can move 1 degree upward to locate a pair of 7th magnitude stars. This is the center of the Crescent Nebula. Pop in your oxygen-3 filter and see if you can spy the brightest part of the arc. Here's my recent image of the Crescent. There's still not enough exposure time to capture the whole loop, so I'll need to have another go at this nebula sometime in the future. The Crescent Nebula lies about 5,000 light years from Earth. So we'll finish up with a nice globular cluster that we'll find together right after this short break.
Star hopping target number 3.
Messier 56 is a globular cluster just across the border into the neighboring constellation of Lyra the Harp. M56 is very often overshadowed by the famous Ring Nebula in Lyra, which we found in episode 3 of Star Hopping. M56 was discovered by Charles Messier in 1779, and it was first resolved into stars by William Herschel around 1784. M56 lies in a nice low-power Milky Way field. At magnitude 8.3, this cluster is one of the fainter Messier globulars because primarily it lacks the bright central core which most globulars have. But it's not too difficult to find even in a smaller telescope if you have a dark sky. This is another fairly easy star hop. We'll be starting on the amazing double star Albireo with its golden and blue component stars. From Albireo, move 2 degrees to the upper left to 5th magnitude 2 Cygni. Now move 1 degree straight up and you'll see M56 moving into your wide field eyepiece. Only about the inner third of this beehive of stars is visible, about 9 minutes of arc in diameter. The brightest stars in this cluster are of about 13th magnitude, but collectively they shine at 8th magnitude. See, there is strength in numbers, if you're a star. So that was our quick trip through Cygnus. We started out finding a huge 3 degree wide area of nebulosity positioned around the star Sadr, otherwise known as the Gamma Cygni Nebula. Then we moved slightly to the right and found the elusive Crescent Nebula. Lastly, we moved across the border into Lyra and found the interesting globular cluster Messier 56. So that does it for this week's episode. You can find the show notes on our website at starhopping.org/sh058, where you can comment and leave any questions that you may have. You can also contact me personally, as I've mentioned before, on Twitter at StarHoppingMan, where I'd love to help you with any astronomy or observing questions. But feel free to reach out with your questions. I'm here to help. Well, thank you very much for joining me here, and I'll see you next time with more star hopping tips and tricks. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me here on Star Hopping. I publish new episodes every other week on Thursdays. Make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking on the logo down there in the right-hand corner so you don't miss a single episode. And for some more Star Hopping content, visit my website at starhopping.org. You can click on this icon right here to visit. See you next time on Star Hopping.